Good day, Tamers. Welcome back to some more fun with me again swiftly, and probably one of the decks I'm really looking forward to, and probably one of the cards that's actually quite most expensive from the latest set of EX7, and that is Hexeblaumon, the new Ice Clad Knight in Frosty Armor. I'm looking forward to this deck. This deck does change drastically between the next few sets for us. Obviously, we don't get an 18 and 19. We're getting 2.0 and 2.5. So, in the next two sets for us, so in this case, we do get 2.0 and then we get EX8, I want to say in January, could be different. And so then that would be more of a build for America. We'll go over that more close to the time. But for now, we'll be going over the EX7 current build that we have access to here. And is this the best version of the deck? Probably not. I've looked at a few different things here, and this is the deck that I like the look of, but there is things in here that I want to change already. But I think for a base look at it, I think this is pretty good. So what we'll go off with though is we are having one Digimon, and the reason for this is not all of your things will have jamming in them, and this is just the way you get to have a cheeky swing maybe a little bit earlier on when you don't have jamming access due to the fact that you don't have it in the sources just yet. We're just going to play 4 of the Kairamons, and that's because you do a lot of removing sources in this deck. That's basically your game plan is to remove a source. Want to get a draw for it, try and get a bit deeper into your deck, try and win the game. 1 Blukamon from BT5. This is just here more of a nostalgia thing, but I do feel like the deck doesn't necessarily have the greatest secondaries yet. Once we get to BT18 that will change, but for now, as it's sort of a meme, I guess you could say, we do have access to the Bluka. And because you are stripping Digivolution sources quite a lot with this deck, gaining that memory doesn't be quite often anyway. 2 of the Madoki Betamons, just in case you do run into the mirror and your opponent goes, "Hey, I want to gain some memory," and you go, "No, I don't think you will." So this is it. There are quite a few decks that still gain memory outside of Tamers, and this is just helpful to slow that down. We are running 2 of the Tamers from EX7, and this is here just to reduce play costs. I'd like it if we had a variant that would be like Pokemon where it stops especially playing things for free, but being able to just stop reduced play costs. So this is Tamers and Digimon. This is very good, but it's again a little bit annoying. But so if it said can't play things perfect, be even better. But so far he's here just as a little bit of a floodgate, and this does help with digicrossing things. As you may have noticed, we do have some digicrossing stuff just recently come out in BT17 as well as coming out in BT18. Blukamon over here from EX7, which also has this Ice Snow type. On play, reveal top 3 cards to your deck, add 1 Peldra or Hexeblaumon in its name, and 1 card with the Ice Snow trait amongst them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. In a deck like this, there's a good chance you'll be doing something like what the Liberators do with Puppets or with the Birds and Avians, where you're essentially always going to be taking 2 of the 3 things that you can choose from. Alright, hear me out. Snow Agamon here, and he's Ice Clad, which is other than against security Digimon. So obviously when you fight a security, compare the number of your Digivision cards instead of the DP in the battle that happens with these Digimon. Ice Clad is a keyword, and it's not just your turn, it's both turns. We will go over that when we get there. So if you can block with this, we'll go over that when we get there. If your opponent has no Digivolution cards and you block them, this Snow Agamon's going to punch you in the shins. There's nothing you can do about it. And then for inherited effect here, when it's Agamon's turn, trash the top Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Which is, keeping them down. Also, don't forget about the Bluka, trash top Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Again, attacking. This is obviously what I say. This deck just wants to keep it so your opponent goes doesn't matter. I've got a level 6 or a level 7 out. What are you gonna do about it? Well, because you don't have any sources, we just benefit from it. Running 4 of the Sorcerermons from EX7. Blocker on play. If your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards, one of your Digimon unsuspends. Now it is a 5 cost. But it's quite easy to get this deck to give you 5 memory at the start of your turn. So if you want to, you can swing in, drop this. Your opponent has to have a Digimon or a Digimon with Digivolution cards. unsuspend the whatever card is swung, swing again. It can be this deck can be very fast. It's the only thing this deck doesn't have, and I'm going to be very careful with the words here, is it doesn't have a Digimon with the inheritable effect of Ice Clad. Now that could be very strong, a little stronger than I think it could be, and that's probably why they haven't done it yet. But I do see at some point we'll be getting a Digimon that gives Ice Clad. So some of these things, like the blocker, will now have Ice Clad and be very, very scary, and you don't want to do that really. And the trash top card of Digivolution card of your opponent's Digimon is the inherited effect here, all when attacking, by the way. Then we run 4 of the Peldramons from EX07. When Digivolving, trash 2 Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if their opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards or no Digimon, this Digimon gets jamming and blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. Now, this is what I'm saying. You got the Blucher, but you go up into Sork, you don't have access to jamming. Whereas in this one, if you've got the memory for it and you can go up a little bit higher, you can just Digivolve up into the next one and contain that jamming and blocking to the end of the turn. Attacking once per turn, trash top card of your opponent's Digimon. As I said, this deck just wants to trash continuously until there's nothing left in the system. Your opponent's just floating there in thin air. It's got nothing to do. Gonna run 3 of the Zuda Aces. Yes, I know, hand traps in this day and age. What are we? Yu-Gi-Oh players. But nonetheless, this here is essentially just for the fact that you're constantly trashing Digivolution cards. It costs 4 to play out. If you've got the other blue coming out and it's sitting under something else, you're just going to gain a memory. So it becomes a free cost option card, and then there's trashing sources, and then sending one back to hand possibly. Because this deck is worded in brackets correctly, so it's like the Digimon from BT6, because it doesn't have to have a Digimon on the field or Digimon with Digivolution cards. If you do just send something back to hand, awesome, you can still gain the benefits of some of these inheritable effects. Then we've got Cry's Peldramon from EX07. It does have Ice Clad. When Digivolving, trash any 2 Digivolution cards under your opponent's Digimon. Then, if your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards, this Digimon unsuspends. Now this is a really good way of swinging with the level 4, getting that cheeky jamming off, Digivolving into this, keeping those sources off your opponent's Digimon, or if they don't have any Digimon, getting to unsuspend, and then you've got blocker with Ice Clad. And you've got, presumably, 3 sources, so there's a good chance you're just going to block your opponent, and they're going to fall over, and they're going to be very sad that they tried to mess with the Iceman. And then your turn, or your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards. This Digimon with the Ice Snow trait gains piercing and security attack +1. Very good. Piercing and security attack 1 is amazing. We are going to run 3 of the BT5 Hexeblaumon here. Now, your alternate art choosing here. We have the original art. We have the DigiFest art, I think it is. You've got the beautiful art, I think it's from BT10, BT11. The second anniversary campaign rares. Beautiful artwork, by the way. When attacking, trash up to 2 Digivolution cards from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards in play, this Digimon gets jamming. Then all turns, your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack or block. Amazing. Like, to be fair, like, this deck is just going to strip sources constantly. At all points, your opponent just looks at the game, just goes, what can I do? And you go, you get to do nothing. And you get to enjoy doing nothing. Because my job is for you to be miserable. Now, because this deck strips sources like it's no one's business, aces that are in the stack are going to suffer like crazy. Did they deserve it? Damn straight they did. Then we're going to run 4 of the Hexeblaumon from EX7. Don't worry. It also has a very nice alternate art that you can also pick up from this set, if you're willing to pay the cash for it. On its body, it has security attack +1. It has Ice Clad. You know what that means. When Digivolving, trash any 4 Digivolution cards under your opponent's Digimon. Then, if your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards, return one of their Tamers to the bottom of the deck. Well, this is useful. Opponent's turn. None of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer Digivolution cards as this Digimon can suspend. Huh. Funny that. Has Ice Snow in its ruling traits, as well as having the Magical Knights and Witchiny, as some people have been very looking forward to the Witchiny trait over here. I'm looking forward to a Magical Warrior deck or a Magical Knights deck, because there's a few magical knights now. Very good card. As you can see here, it's going to cause your opponents much suffering, much pain, much loss. I'm all for it. We're going to run one of the ice walls because this is technically just a strip and stop deck. We do want to slow down your opponents as much as they can. Wide boards can still be quite effective against this deck, but if you haven't spent memory to swing, well, maybe we can stop you from playing the game. If you know what Ice Wall does, it's from EX1. I'm waiting for an alternate still. Main, all of your opponent's Digimon gain it whenever attacking, lose 2 memory till the end of your opponent's turn. Remember, this is on your opponent, not the Digimon. And then security, gain 2 memory. Running 2 of the Summon Frost. This is the new option card from EX7. Cost of 5. Main, trash the top 2 Digimon cards of all of your opponent's Digimon. If this effect didn't trash, you may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card with the Ice Snow trait from your hand without paying the cost. Then, until the end of your opponent's turn, none of their Digimon with no Digivolution cards can attack. Again, this deck just wants to stop your opponent from playing the game. You're not allowed to do things. With this Summon Frost, if you've got the 5 memory to start off with, you can swing with this Hexeblaumon. Maybe it's already doing like 2 chip damage. You can play the Summon Frost. Nothing got its source stripped. Play out the Sork. There's no source to strip again. Unsuspend the Hexeblaumon. Hexeblaumon swings again, just another 2 chip damage. Very, very effective. What I will say though is we'll go over some things that make this deck possibly a little bit more scary, but we'll go over that towards the end. Running 2 with the blue memory boost here. All of you out there should know what this does though now. If you're new to Digimon though, welcome. This is it's a very cool card. Been around for a long time. You can pick up a playset for like £3 or £4 or like $5. Main, reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 blue Digimon card amongst them to the hand. Place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. Then place this card in the battle area. Remember, we're just playing 2 of these. We don't want to be putting that Tamers to the bottom. Main, delay. Activate this card a turn after you've played it at the minimum. And then gain 2 memory. And then security, just put this card in the battle area. And then you get to play it. You get to pop it next turn to get the memory back. If there's no memory stoppers. Doing 4 of them things. Mental trainings over here. Build top 2 cards of your deck. Add any blue card amongst them to hand. The rest of the bottom of the deck, then place this card in the battle area. Main, delay. One of your Digimon may digivolve into a blue Digimon card in the hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2. Fantastic. Running 2 Davises here. Memory says Davis from BT3, probably still the best blue tamer in the game. And then on play, build top 3 cards to your deck. Add 1 blue and 1 green Digimon card to the hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. And we've got Sora and Joe from BT5, back from when the original Hexeblaumon came out. Start of your turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards in play, gain 2 memory. Then your turn, when you attack with a blue Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to trash the 2 Digivolution cards from the bottom of one of their Digimon. Security, let's go effect. The synergy with this card will always be amazing. It's a 4 cost one. You kind of want to see, hopefully it comes out in the security, or it's like the first thing you do in the turn, like, you put your Digimon down in the breeding area, you don't really have anything else to do, put this down, and then you have to hope that your opponent plays a search and forgets that what this does, so then the following turn, if they leave you at 1, you gain 2, you go to 3. Happens more than you think it does. But yeah, fantastic card, especially in this deck where you're just stripping sources like it's no one's business. Now, I'm sorry. I am very, very sorry. Because I know you will expect more from me. But we're going to play 2 Shota. Look, I understand, and I also agree. You know me, I'm the guy that likes things in archetypes. I like themes, I like synergies, I like thematrics because I'm an actor. But Shoto kind of gives this deck what it's missing, and that's blocker. So when you've got a big bad boy, and your opponent's being cheeky and they're trying to get a swing in, and you just go, I'm going to suspend this blocker now with Ice Clad. Your opponent just looks at you and goes, crap. Because they likely will not have more sources than you. They can't get over Ice Clad. And then there's a lot of other Digimon out there in the game that can't get past it. Now remember things like Mother. Her effect doesn't ignore keywords. So they will still battle because you're the one that has this effect. So it's on the Tamers. So as Tamers we go, hey, I have more sources. Bye, Mother. But there we go, that's it. That's the 50 cards. What I will say though is something that I found interesting when looking this up. Ice Snow isn't an original typing. I thought it was original to this set. It's not. The first Ice Snow is Frigimon from BT1, which is a 4-cost drop or a 2-cost Digivolution over level 3 that has jamming. If this is something you think is funny, or you want to try and like work it in, be my guest. I'm pretty sure you can. It'd be quite funny. You also have Hyugamon, which is essentially Ice Ogamon from BT11, a 5-cost drop or a 1-cost Digivolution card. Again, it's searchable. It's cheap Digivolution. If you don't really want to run 4 sorcerers, you maybe want to run like 2 sorcerers, maybe 2 of these for cheap Digivolution costs, just trying to get into level 5s quicker. This is something you can consider. It is a very cheap card. And that's kind of it for like the ha hee Ice Snow. What I will say is we aren't running any level 7s in here, but you can definitely run probably 2 of the best level 7s in this deck if possible. And that is Paladin mode, that loves the fact you've already stripped all the sources for him, or will be stripping all the sources for you. So if you have another Hexeblaumon on the field or anything that can go into Hexeblaumon that turn, oh baby, he's here for some fun. Or you can play the BT5, that's right, this guy, the BT5 Omnimon, that can unsuspend, swing with Blitz, and take out those games for you, which may or may not come up in the future. Now, cards I look at probably dismissing here, so maybe looking to get rid of Summon Frost. I think it's a good card. Maybe I'm just coping. I'm always coping. You can take out Ice Wall. You don't have to run the Ice Wall if you don't want to. If you don't like Shoto, you can always take the Shoto out and put it into level 7s instead. The deck is very weirdly done. It's a very engine-based deck so far. But we do need to get more support. When we do get up to BT18, which will be for us, I think, beginning of November, we are looking at things like the Kumamon, which is a hybrid. We're looking at the Daipenmon, which is again a hybrid. We have access to Kikarumon, again a hybrid, but also Ice Snow. We do have access to the ancient Negatheriumon. Wouldn't play this, but you have access to it. We also get access to Polar Bearmon in EX8, which again is going to be next year, so this is something for the Americans to look at for their finals, as well as having a Skadimon, again something to look at in January for the Americans, as well as having access to a Tamer, Suzunimon Kazuki, which is all turns when your Digimon are played or Digivolve if any of them have the Ice Snow trait by suspending this Tamer. Trash one Digivolution card from the bottom of your opponent's Digimon. Fairly interesting style deck here. Rather than gaining a memory or drawing a card, you are helping your strategy to strip the sources to make your Digimon stronger overall. But yeah, that's kind of it. Obviously with BT18 we do get access to the new Tommy. The new Tommy here, play this card without paying the cost. Start your main phase by trashing one card with a hybrid of 10 warriors and its traits, gain a memory, and then trash the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards, draw one. Having a hybrid and a main style deck strategy is an interesting way to play the game, because that way your opponent has to be very careful how they want to deal with you. Do they need to just strike your security in one go and hope that you can't come back? Do they need to sort of deal with the big body or the little body sort of like chip away? And this is something a lot of people sort of forget about and don't really think to assess the situation, where because of how the deck can swing either into a chip strategy or into a big stack strategy, a lot of people do get very concerned with how to deal with them. Obviously there are cards out there that currently are very good into this strategy, but for now, that's where we're going. Now, someone will say, hey, the old Tommy is pretty good, right? I hate Tommy. You should know this by now. Don't bring him up. But at the end of the day, you could play the new Tommy in this deck if you really wish to. But that's it for me today, Tamers. Thank you for being here, very much so. And this will be going out on the 27th of September, if I can spend all day tomorrow editing this 20-something minute video. So, goodbye for now. Peace out. Goodbye. And always remember your defeats. Ciao for now.